Imagen's culling studio is where efficiency meets creativity. Our new integrated solution brings together our next-level culling algorithm along with in-app reviewing and AI editing in a single, intuitive platform. Tailored for photographers who value both speed and personalized quality results, Imagen strives to enhance every aspect of your post-production process. Open the Imagen app and give the new culling studio a try today.
They don't like it either because they want to know when a photo is being taken. So they, otherwise they feel like, okay, when is she going to take a photo?
This is Vanessa Joy, photographer from Texas and New Jersey. You're listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast.
Today I'm chatting with Martina, and if you want to learn more about Martina and see their work, you can go to the show notes for this episode, and you'll have a whole big introduction to Martina and also a link to their website there. So definitely check that out. Now, hello, Martina. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm great. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. As we were just discussing, I'm a year older and a year wiser. And so it's a very, very exciting. I had a very nice birthday. My family lets me pick where I want to go for meals. And
wow.
I went
Happy
to my
birthday,
favorite breakfast place. Thank you. I went to my favorite breakfast place and I went to my favorite pizza place for dinner. Mm-hmm. I try not to eat pizza too much, but it's my favorite in the area. And I mean, it's just so good. So
I know. I mean, I'm Italian. Don't tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get right into the nitty-gritty for this workflows discussion. What is one thing you do behind the camera? You haven't even started taking pictures yet, or maybe you just started, but the session's not over, the wedding's not done. What is one thing you do for the photographic process that saves you time?
I think, and this has been a process throughout my career, I think it's using less gear compared to when I started. I mean, my setting is 2 cameras, 2 lenses. That's it. I don't have anything else. And when I started, I guess like many other photographers, I thought that in order to be a good photographer, I needed all the gear, all the cameras, all the lenses, all the lights, everything. And it's many bags to carry at the end of the day. And it makes you heavier and slower because it takes time to set things up. And, this is the opposite of the way I like to work because I want to be fast. During a photo shoot, I walk a lot, I move a lot, I'm everywhere. And I need to be able to move quickly. I want to stay invisible as well. So, I don't want to interfere too much with what's happening. And I'm an introvert, and I think like an introvert. I think that the day of our wedding, we are already on edge. We're doing probably something we've never done. We're in a place probably we've never been. We are wearing clothes that we don't usually wear. We are the center of attention. And then there is this stranger taking photos of you all the time. It can be intimidating. And that's why I don't want to have big gear, big lights, because I think that for many people, having an invisible photographer is essential to let go, to be themselves. And also this, I think, is crucial with what I do. I work a lot with LGBTQ plus couples and, people coming from all over the world to Denmark to elope, to get married. And many of them aren't even used to hold hands in the streets because where they live, they might face discrimination, violence, and all of that crap. So when they arrive to Denmark and it's their wedding day and they're walking around all dressed up, obviously they are a wedding couple. They are already out of their comfort zone, way out of their comfort zone. So I think that we don't need to add another layer of discomfort with the photographer being in the face all the time, making noise, flashing, and all of that. So I think it saves me a lot of energy for sure, and time as well.
Two questions about that. One, does that mean that you are 100% of the time a natural or available light photographer? You don't use any artificial lights?
I'd say 98% of the time, because when it's needed, a little flash. But as long as I can avoid it, I will, because I don't want to disturb whatever is happening. Yeah. And I work at,
So your flash is on, is it on camera and just you're bouncing, or like what's that?
No, I don't have it on camera. I just use it when I know that the light is really, really low.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I love to work with ISO, low shutter speed, that type of thing, until the limit. When that is not enough, then I have to go with the flash, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also mentioned simple, the camera's 2 lenses. What does that look like right now? What are your workhorses?
I use Sony cameras, and the lenses are 35 and 35. That's it.
Those are my 2 favorite. Love it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fantastic. You were gonna say something, and I cut you off. I apologize. You were gonna say something before I cut you off.
No need to apologize. But now I forgot.
All good.
That's okay.
If it comes back to you, just cut me off. It's all good. So let's talk about business for a little bit. Now, what is one thing you do for the business that either saves you time or money?
I think having things ready, templates, PDF, price guides, all of that, these things save me a lot of time. And of course, it takes time to prepare them, because, I don't just get a template and smash my prices on it and send it. I design my own PDF guide, and you have to prepare a layout, choose photos, write text, but once it's done, it's there, and it's incredible the amount of time that you can save, because you don't have to type a reply every time you get an inquiry. So that is like pro tips.
I'm curious, as somebody who is extremely inclusive for all of your clients, right? Have you considered selling your templates for the photographers who are trying to adjust their designs and everything to make their guides more inclusive and have
I don't sell templates, but I do consultations for photographers that want to have a more inclusive website. I even wrote a book about the topic to help people having a more inclusive website, like for real, genuine website. And we go through, during the consultations, we go through all the texts, all the blog posts, everything, and we mark all the words that can be, exclusive, like, I don't know, bridal party, for example.
Right.
If you use it for a specific wedding where there is an actual bridal party, it makes sense. But if you use it as a general thing, maybe consider wedding party instead. It's more neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you're doing that to help out the photographers who are trying to put in the work to improve their businesses in that way, in that part of their business. So it's fantastic that you're doing that. So for listeners, if you are in that situation where you are trying to improve that, definitely reach out to Martina. Okay, let's not talk about Imagen yet. However, what is one thing you do for the editing that has saved you time?
Before I think is maybe the fact that I don't take too many photos. So it's pretty fast for me to get things ready to go, ready to be delivered. Yeah. I think it was Chris Denner that was talking about the same thing. What's the word he used? I think he said it was being economical in this way of shooting or something like that, in the sense that it doesn't take too many photos. And it comes from field photography, so it makes sense that it is wired that way. And for me, it's the same. I also started with film cameras because I was too broke when I was a student and couldn't afford a digital camera. So, I had a film, 36 photos, and that was it. But now, many years later and many photo shoots later, I still bring that experience with me and think that every shot matters. And I know that taking the photos that I know I will not deliver, doesn't make any sense to me. I prefer to use that time talking to my couple, getting to know them, instead of just, shooting for the sake of it. And another thing, I shoot hundreds of weddings and elopements. Like I've done, I think per year I do like 80, 90 gigs. And
by yourself?
Yes, but it's elopements, so small things, it's not full day weddings.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot.
Yeah, but that taught me how weddings work. I know what's going to happen. I know what the couple is about to do, where they're going to stand, where they're going to walk to, from where the action is coming. And this helps a lot because I can be at the right place at the right time when something is about to happen. And I don't need to shoot because I'm afraid I will miss the shot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Are the elopements that you do, so they're what percentage would you say they're in the same location versus a different one? Or is it like the same common locations, like multiple, but on regularly always in these 5 or these 10 or whatever?
Well, I work in Denmark. I'm based in Copenhagen, and I think roughly like 7 out of 10 are at Copenhagen City Hall. And so we have the same walk afterwards in the city center. I know this city like the back of my pocket. And it can be limiting at some point because, it's always the same thing. But then I can do them to perfection in a way.
Yes.
And also it makes me focus on other things, knowing where we're going to walk, what are we going to do, I can focus on other tasks. Like maybe getting to know the people I'm working with, or putting them at ease, these type of things.
Yeah, I would imagine that if 7 out of 10 are in this one location and you know exactly what's going to happen and when, there's got to be moments where hey, I'm going to have 15 minutes where I can experiment with something that I've never tried before, or like that's got to be pretty cool to be able to experiment, knowing, hey, if I get it wrong, I didn't mess anything up because I knew I had 15 minutes to play. Or something like that.
It's amazing. And I know people at City Hall. I call them by their names. We're friends. I joke. I say that is my office. And I love it, honestly.
That's so good. So what might be one thing that you experimented with that failed during one of these times, one of these moments, and what is one thing that was a success that has happened, if you can think? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot with that one.
Oh, that's fine. Well, one time there was this officiant at City Hall, and she was bothered by the click on my camera. And she told me, like, maybe you should silence your camera because, people get distracted. And, I've been there hundreds of times already at this point. And I asked the couple, is this distracting to you? And they said, no, we're cool. Okay, cool. Then, whatever. Yeah. It's your problem. Yeah. I do my job, you do your job. But then afterwards, I wanted to talk to that person. So, setting things. Yeah. Because we have to work together all the time. So I think that was both a failure because I didn't want to argue in that moment. Yeah. Honestly, it's not cool. It's not the right place. But then also it was a success because I wanted to set things straight and say, hey, I'm sorry. And, we have 30 seconds at that point. And I can't just change settings on the go right now. And, all of that. So I think it was a good experience. Yeah. We say I now when we meet.
So at this point, have you done elopements and weddings where you do have your camera on silent mode? And is it weird?
I have, and it's weird. And also, I don't like it. And I think most of my clients, because I've asked, they don't like it either because they want to know when a photo is being taken. So they, otherwise they feel like, okay, when is she going to take a photo of us?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
especially if you've got no flash at that point in time happening, there's no indicator at all that you got the photo. I mean, in some cases, even you as the photographer, you don't even realize it took it because there's no. It's a little scary. It's a little scary. I'm not a fan
and
of
I have to look at the screen.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely changed the game for like photographers who are on a film set, for example, where you need silence. It's a game changer. You no longer need what they call it, a blimp. You no longer need that. But in this case, it's like it's only a little click. I mean, come on. So, okay. So after the session, what is one thing you do now after a wedding, after an elopement, that has increased business for you?
Well, I don't know if this has increased business, but one thing I do for sure is making sure that everything is backed up or multiple devices because I'm so paranoid about it. And, I feel like storing wedding photos is my responsibility, not my clients. I'm not saying that this is the right thing to do, so don't take me as an example, but this is just how I feel. You do you if you want to do otherwise, but I've saved every single raw file that I've taken in my life. And it's safely stored here and in Italy, because every time I go to visit my family, I make a backup.
Nice. Yeah.
Yes. So, I just want to sleep at night and know that everything is secured. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. For listeners who don't know, Imagen also offers cloud backup. So when you're sending to Imagen for culling or editing, Imagen can actually be part of your disaster recovery solution. And you have the option of using the free low resolution backups that every Imagener has included, or upgrading to a high resolution backup. And you've got two versions, an optimized, which is like a compressed DNG, and a full uncompressed raw backup. And if you edit with Imagen, your edit data is also stored alongside your original RAWs in high resolution. So in a true disaster scenario, if you recover your RAWs, your edits are recovered with it. So
amazing. It's incredible, because if it's good for your mental health, to go back to your question, then it's good for business. So, win-win. Yeah,
100%. If you have that security in the back of your mind, you're going to perform better and stress less. The last thing you want to do is lose your client photos. A lot of us have been there, and you'll make that mistake once, you'll never make it again. So, Okay, this is my absolute favorite part of the show.
Okay.
Pick a color.
Okay, so it's either green or orange. Green.
Green. Nice. So when Chris picked, I think he picked orange, and he goes, I think Magic picked green, so I'm going with orange. So, green. I'm going to thumb through the deck. Tell me when to stop.
Okay. Stop.
All right. Your next question is, which actor or actress would play you in a documentary?
I'm so bad with names. This is the worst question ever. Who would play me? I have no idea.
I think I know.
I
think I know. And I think I just have to remember what her name is as well. Oh, shoot. Oh, I know exactly who it is. And I don't know why. Okay. I don't know if you're going to like this answer or not, but I'm going with it anyway because she's a fantastic actress. Anne Hathaway.
I'll take that. Okay.
She can do accents. Okay. Fantastic actress. And if you saw her in Les Mis, you guys have a similar look with when she cut her hair short.
I mean, I'll take that as a compliment, so I'll take it any day. Thank you.
So that's what I think. Do you have any that you think would be a good?
Honestly, no. I don't even watch TV that much, or
Okay.
No, you call me off guard there. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the whole point of those decks. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to dig deep. This is a one that every time I ask this question, it pulls out things that most photographers don't even think about on a regular basis. So this is why I love this one. Looking at your business from a 30,000 foot view down, or meters,
Yes.
Can you share an outline breakdown of your workflow from lead to delivery?
Okay. It's actually pretty simple because I hate paperwork. I hate wasting time on emails, writing back and forth and all of that. And I think that as wedding photographers, we should make life easier for our clients, not more complicated. So when I receive an inquiry, I immediately provide all the info they need and a link to book a consultation with me. So we can get to know each other, as soon as we can, see if we're a match and all of that. And that's it. Then they just meet me on the wedding day. That is it. I don't have contracts. I don't take a deposit. I don't think there is any need for that for me, of course.
No contract, not even a digital.
Nothing.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing. But keep in mind that I do elopements, small weddings. So a few hours and goodbye. And so, it's easy for me to work this way. And then after the wedding, I let Imagen do its job, check that everything is the way I want it, and boom, done, finished. Oh no, there is one more thing that I do before I deliver photos. I plant a tree for each customer that I have. Because,
Amazing.
My clients, they love to Denmark, so they fly to Denmark most of the times. And I plant trees to both reduce their carbon footprint and also to help local communities around the world. I think it's the least we could do for our planet, to give something back.
So just to, I'm going to guess, and maybe I'm wrong. Are you using a service to do that? You're not going out there and planting it yourself.
No. Okay. I wish I had the skills to do that, but all my plants die, so I let someone else do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, a couple things. Can you share the name, if you know it off the top of the head, the service, in case other photographers want to try to do?
It's called, if you give me 1 second, I'm just going to open it, and it's called freenation.com.
Freenation. Yes. Check it out if you're interested in doing that. I think that's a fantastic, beautiful thing that you're doing. Now, elopements, are you offering albums, photo books, or is it purely, here's your gallery, order prints what you want, because you're doing 80 plus a year yourself?
I do offer albums and prints, yes. But of course, because people live somewhere else, it's very difficult for them to even understand how we can make this work. And many people, they prefer to do it themselves. That is my experience. But I do offer these services, yes. And, I deliver to their door without asking for additional expenses. Like if they live in Hong Kong, it's just going to take a month for them to get them. But, it's okay to send them over,
And what are you using to deliver the digitals to your clients? Which gallery solution are you
use PixieSet.
PixieSet. Okay, nice. Yes. Do they have an album or book creator built in for your clients to build their own, or do you have to design the albums
they do,
when they?
But I have chosen to have the option of clients letting me know that they want an album and the number of pages and how much how big they want it and all of that. So I take care of it on my own and then send it to them.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. So I do a lot of surprise proposals. We're in a very similar situation where it's a very quick session, both of which are very high pressure still. You still want to get it right. I don't offer albums or books for those. I do a la carte prints and stuff like that. I include some with the session and stuff, but I think if I was to, I could probably put together an album, but I feel like if I was to try to do that for a proposal, I probably wouldn't sell them. But yeah, so it's I never really thought about how
do surprise proposal, because I think I've done some of those, and of course they're all Northern Americans, because Europeans, we're more. Our proposals are less romantic, and most of the times we are just like, should we get married for tax purposes? We're sipping coffee and all of that. But I love surprise proposals.
Yeah. They're so much fun, and it gets your heart racing, and you feel like you're really a part of that magical moment in a really special, unique way. And they're difficult. Like you might think, those who have never done it might think, oh, that's easy, but it's difficult. And if you get it wrong, it's a problem.
Do you hide in the bushes or you pretend to be a tourist?
I have done, you name it, I've done it. My first one ever was literally hiding in a bush next to a public restroom. It was just very smelly. Yeah. So it was a New Jersey. So I'm in New Jersey in the U.S. We're known for our beach towns, each of which you have to pay to get on the beach with, which I think is the dumbest thing. But, New Jersey, it is what it is. Speaking of taxes. And it was my first one ever was at a beach town. And it was a public restroom that was on the boardwalk for the beach. And the hiding spot that I planned through Google Maps and everything was not there. But I'm a prepper. So I was there an hour and a half early, found my spot, planted myself. I did video and still, so I had a video on a tripod, also hidden in the same tree, a little bit offset from me, and I was good to go. But I was a mess afterwards.
Yeah.
So
I hope you showered afterwards.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've pretended I was with other tourists that I was just like, hey, I'm doing a proposal. Can I just pretend I'm with you? And they're like, yeah. So, and of course, then they hang out and watch, and they get all like mushy because they watch the proposal. It's always fun. Always fun. Yeah. So
yes,
let's talk AI. Right now, the day that we're recording this on June 10th. It's days after Adobe has announced or updated their terms of service with things that a lot of photographers are not very happy with, right? And I get it. It makes sense, right? That you don't want a company saying, we're going to see every photo you take, or we own the content you create with it or whatever. They have then sort of rebutted, right, what they put out there. So, but there's always this sort of chaos in the AI world, whether it's in photography or not. There's always this chaos and concern about AI. So my question to you is, what does the future of AI in photography look like to you?
This is so funny because believe it or not, AI is a massive topic in my relationship.
Okay.
And sounds bad, but my partner and I, we speak about it a lot because she is an AI specialist in her field. She's a computational designer working in architecture. And I'm super enthusiastic about tech. I love tech. I mean, what's not to love about it?
Right.
It makes our life easier and it unlocks possibilities that we didn't even know existed. And yeah, I understand that people can be afraid of change. I think it was Vanessa Joy that was speaking about this in another episode, about the fact that maybe we should see AI as a door opener rather than a limitation. And for example, the new feature of Adobe Lightroom's, the generative fill, that's pretty new thing. Before AI, we had to be careful about the background of our photos. And if there was a car, there were people, street signs. I mean, you surprise proposal photographer of all people should know that.
Bicycles.
And now,
always bicycles.
Yeah.
Coming right through.
Yeah. And now, I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay attention to the background, but it doesn't matter as much. And we have more freedom to create images wherever we want. I mean, isn't that great? And so, I'm very optimistic about the future. I don't think that AI will replace humans, but I do believe that people that know how to use AI will replace people that don't. So
yes. Well put. Regarding backgrounds, it used to be that, I mean, it's for some people still is, but historically it's use a neutral density filter, knock out all the people, right? But then you got to make sure that your subjects are still enough, use strobe, all that kind of stuff, right? So it's a complex way, but it's doable. Or take the photo with nobody in it whatsoever, and then take the photo with your subject, and then if there are people in the background or something, you can mask it all away. Also doable, easier than the other method, but again, time consuming, a little complex. And now it's just select and where did it all go? So I love the simplicity. I mean, I can't stand spending too much time in Photoshop.
Yeah.
So personally, I'd much rather just spend my time in Lightroom. And now that I can do that in Lightroom, it's It's amazing.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, we can't stop the revolution, so we might as well embrace it.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. You have been using Imagen for quite some time. Like Chris Denner, you were probably at the Way Up North that I was at in Copenhagen.
Yes.
And we probably met, and I probably don't remember because I was very stressed for only working for Imagen for 2 weeks when I was there.
Yes.
And I was definitely on my introverted side when I was there because, again, only 2 weeks in. So I wish that I remember. I wish I remember, meeting everybody
But that's
who I met there.
You have to remember lots of faces. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah. But so you've been using Imagen for quite some time, and I do know that. And so I'm wondering, how did Imagen impact your life?
Oh, so much, so much. I'll be forever grateful to Imagen. And, I don't take too many photos because, as we said, I know when the action happens and all of that. But on the other hand, I deliver lots of images. I think like 25-30% of what I take. And that's because I don't have a fixed number of images to deliver to my clients. I don't say, for example, random number, I'm going to give you 200 photos. Because what if I have 205 photos that are really good? I mean, I don't want to choose those 5 images that are going to be deleted forever. It's your photos. You should choose. Mm-hmm. So, I just deliver everything that I have, all the good photos that I have. And so editing used to take time, yes, before Imagen. And, funny thing, I used to think that I loved editing days, long editing days, because I was picturing this amazing lazy day at home, cup of coffee, some snacks, my computer, Netflix in the background. And then when I started using Imagen, I realized that I don't like it that much. I'd rather spend my time elsewhere.
Yeah. Lazy days. Yeah, definitely more possible now than long editing days when you think you're going to be lazy, but then you're just staring at a screen. And it's so funny. Yeah. The fact that we're able to help you to get it all done with how busy you are, with how many elopements you're doing, to get it all done, because that, even though you're not shooting that much, you're shooting a lot.
Yes,
it's per couple, you may not be shooting much, but when you add it all up, it's a lot. So, I'm so happy that we're able to help you to do that. Have you adopted the culling studio yet to help get rid of?
Yes, I have
the others. Yes. Okay, cool. And how do you like it so far?
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so great to hear. Okay, it's been fantastic. I love hearing about how you work and how efficient you are with everything. I love the fact that you do simplify as much as possible, because I feel like when you have a very busy calendar of jobs you have to do, simplifying is extremely important
yes.
whether it's automating with your emails and the templates like you've talked about, or whether it's with the editing and culling or whatever, or just shooting less. It's so important to simplify. There was something I wanted to ask you last second. I totally forgot what it was, so it must not have been important. Oh, that's what it was. How many, before we close out this discussion, if you had to balance how many elopements you do versus full day weddings, what would you say that looks like for you?
90% elopements.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't shoot long day weddings anymore. I'm getting old. And I prefer to work from Monday to Friday, daytime, couple of hours, and then I'm home working. Yeah. So I prefer that, yes.
And when you do the full days, do you at that point hire second shooters and assistants, or are you still on your own?
No, it's still just me, yes.
Still just you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nice. Well, thank you so much again. Where can listeners learn more about you, connect with you, and of course, see your incredible photography?
My website, of course, marlanph.com. It's MARLANPH. Sorry, bad spelling. Or Instagram, weddings_marlanph. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you, Scott.
You have been listening to the Workflows Photography Podcast. To hear more from Workflows, to learn more about our guest, and for an exclusive offer for Workflows listeners, please go to workflowspodcast.com. And be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.